Hey all you cool cats and kittens. It's Cody here and we're going to be doing a margarita tonight from quarantine so that you guys can kind of see how to make a quality restaurant style margarita from home with all of your ingredients that you might have lying around. Might only be a couple things here that you have to go to the store to get. I've got some reposado tequila here. If you're going to the store to get tequila because you're trying to make a margarita, or you want some sipping tequila or something to take shots of, your reposado is what you want to make your margarita with. Reposado means rested. This is your middle-aged tequila. Your Blanco, which is what Patron's most famous for, right, is going to be your shooting tequila, and your Añejo is going to be your sipping tequila. Reposado is your mixing tequila. It's where you're making your margs with. I went with El Jimador. This goes for like 24 bucks, really cheap, but it's Weber Blue Agave. What you want to look for is 100% blue agave right there, right? You don't want to get any kind of lower mixtos, which are, maybe aren't 100% Weber Blue Agave. Jimador is a good entry option to that to make sure that you have a quality product. We've got our shaking tins here. I've got some fresh squeezed lime juice. I've also got some agave syrup. And I put this here so you guys can see this. This is from Publix. This is just organic agave nectar, and what I've done is cut this 50% with hot water. I've just made a syrup out of it, like a simple syrup you would do with sugar. I just did the same thing with agave. It makes it a little more manageable to kind of measure how sweet you want something, and it also stretches out the life of your agave. So 50% agave nectar, 50% hot water, mix it up, and that's what you have here. So we have this nice golden syrup right here. I've got my lime juice here, fresh squeeze. You want fresh squeezed lime juice because you want to have those living enzymes that are found inside the lime. You don't want to buy it from the store. You want your real deal fresh squeezed lime juice. And what I've done is, after squeezing them, I've strained it through a fine mesh strainer or a tea strainer. If it's larger, you might want to call it a chinois, whatever it is, to get the pulp out. And that way, when you're pouring it, you're shaking it, you're going to end up with kind of a cleaner mouthfeel in your margarita, and you're not going to have any bits of pulp that you're trying to drink through that is going to impede your sips, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, you got your shaker here, we're going to start with our cheapest ingredients first, right? So I'm going to go 1 ounce of lime juice, and this really depends, the measurements, you can extrapolate out if you need to a larger size glass. I'm using a glass this size. If I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, I could kind of change my ingredients a little bit as far as how much of each I'm putting in, but I'm just using this size. I'm going to do 1 ounce each of the agave syrup and of the lime. And if I wanted this to be a little stronger, and that didn't pour perfectly out of that pint glass, but that's okay. If I wanted to be a little stronger, I could do 0.75, 3/4 ounce of lime, and 3/4 ounce of the agave syrup. Or if you want to just be a complete maniac about it, you could just go 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce. Now we're going to do 2 ounces of the reposado tequila, right? And if you have shaker tins at home, you're always going to build your cocktail in your small shaker, right? And then you're going to get your ice with your large shaker, okay? So we're going to get ice here. You want it to be a little bit, right around 3/4 of the way full before you shake. We're going to pour all of our ingredients on top of our ice in the big shaker. Get them together. You want to make sure that it's secure, right? And when you shake, especially with citrus, you want to have a long 10-second count for your shake because you're looking for 30% dilution in your cocktail. That means you're going to have 30% of your finished product as water, which makes the drink soft enough and potable enough where it's not astringent from the alcohol, right? You can do this with 1 hand. You can do a 1-hand shake, or you can do 2, but what you want to look for is that you want this to be cold, frosted on the outside before you strain it out. So I need a little bit more time. I'm going to do a 2-hand shake for the rest of it. And when you pop it open, you're going to see that both tins are really cold. I'm going to get the remainder out into the big tin. And now I'm going to salt my rim. You can do a half rim salt, or you can do a full. I'm just going to go in full. I think it looks a little bit better. And what I've done is just squeeze a half of 1 lime on this plate. And I'm going to go from there straight into some sea salt right here. sugar content in that lime juice is gonna make sure that it's sticky enough so that the salt stays on the rim here of this glass. And you can strain this over into your glass. I like to pour it in when I have a margarita. I like that it's got that ice broken up in there. It kind of makes it a little bit colder to sip on, and I feel like it just kind of goes better with the drink. For our garnish, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a whole lime. You're gonna cut your ends off. And then we're gonna do a cut down the center of the lime. And then you're gonna cut a wheel off. And you wanna do about a 1/4 inch maybe in thickness. Just wide enough so that it has enough strength to stand on its own. And you're gonna sit that right here on the rim of your glass, like that. And I think this is a better garnish than doing the traditional wedge. It kind of gives it a little more height. It's a little bit more dramatic looking when you look at the drink as a whole. I'm not doing a straw. If you want to do a straw, always make sure you put your straw right next to your garnish. You pop it right there, and it just kind of makes it all look neater, rather than having a garnish here and the straw over here and having all this weird negative space. So you put your straw right there, and there's your marg. And you've got 2 ounces of tequila. You've got a little bit of your agave in there. You got the lime in there. I don't put any of the, Haley's telling me that I should point in some mezcal as a floater. This is Los Vecinos. This is a mezcal. This is just an espadín, which is
optional. This is optional if you like
optional.
smoky.
You can do a nice smoky floater on top of your marg, right? Just about a 1/2 or a 1/4 ounce on top.
Smoke. A little bit of smoke.
And then when you go in for a sip, you've got that nice, really kind of vegetal, smoky mezcal aroma on top. And it just pairs great with the lime and the agave. And that's a perfect marg. You don't have anything in your, there's no artificial sour mix, there's no weird sweeteners in there. You're going with agave that comes from the same plant that creates tequila, right? You got fresh squeezed lime juice. And you notice I didn't use Cointreau or triple sec or anything like that. You can do that. You could certainly make a Texas margarita this way if you wanted to float Grand Marnier on top instead of mezcal, right? I just like mine with agave and lime and tequila, and this is like what you would ask for in a restaurant as a skinny. This is your traditional skinny margarita, and easy to make. Cheers. Salud.